The harvest is over, the spuds are safely tucked into the cellar, and hay for the cattle is stacked in the barn.
And it's been this way for generations, but would it continue? You know, for decades, the baby boomers' children left the farm. They went to college and they got careers. Now, at the average age of a farmer in Idaho in his 60s, who will provide our food in the future? Sterling Hatch runs a family farm, along with his wife, his kids, and his parents. He's one of the rare ones. He stayed on the farm. In the 70s, the U.S. Department of Agriculture reported the number of U.S. family farms fell sharply. And for a couple of decades, there has been concern that the nation's farmers would retire and there'd be no one there to take over.
And it wasn't anybody's fault. I think that there were other opportunities out there in the world. A lot of farm families were just barely becoming affluent enough to send all their kids to college. I think the kids went to college, got their degrees, and then once they got their degrees, they wanted to use those degrees.
But recently, the University of Idaho started noticing a new trend. A lot of those kids are in their 40s now, with their own children, and they're coming back to the farm.
They're not 100% in it for the money. They're in it for the lifestyle and the great way that they can raise their family.
But it is nothing, if not difficult, to return to the family farm at age 40 and convince mom and dad they need to retire.
And that's what we're seeing today. A lot of young people are coming back to try to keep the farm in the family, even though you know, the older generation may not quite be ready to let go.
We have to let them know, too, that we're still of sound mind and sound body, and that we can make our own decisions yet, which sometimes they think it's time for them to step in and make the decisions. And so, it's a difficult thing to talk about.
So the University of Idaho created a farm succession and estate planning course.
We try to be like a mediator, and that really is the hardest part that we've noticed, getting the generations to talk with each other. And sometimes it's 3 generations. It's the grandparents, the parents, and the grandkids that are trying to figure out, you know, how do we keep this business moving forward, yet we've got to provide a retirement for at least 2 generations at the same time, and an income for a young family, or maybe more than one.
Some older couples have taken the course several times.
I think that's the 3rd time they've taken the class, but I don't think they've done anything yet. So it needs to be done. I'm 40.
Sterling Hatch says his grandpa didn't quit until he was almost 100.
Well, it's hard to let go. My grandpa helped milk cows till he was almost 100, like 99 and a half, and he broke his leg on his way in from the milk barn. So they don't quit.
The folks in the succession class know in their hearts they need to pass the farm on. But it is so difficult to let go.
But we've found at this age, too, change is difficult as you get old. You're comfortable with what's going on, and to change, you have to change.
Yeah. The important thing is communication, which these succession classes help facilitate. And the good news, the family farm in Idaho is alive and well, and growing and changing.
No, Idaho farm families are going to stay in business. It's amazing, the kids that we see coming back to the farms. These are not just kids that dropped out of high school. These are kids that had college degrees in something probably not ag-related, and they've had successful careers. I mean, we've had computer scientists and engineers and kids that you would think, they're not kids now, they're 40 years old, 30 and 40. But they were off the farm for a period of time, and they were successful, and then they just said, I got to get out of the city, I got to get my kids back to the farm.
So what's the draw? I mean, who in the world would want to work 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year on the farm? We're going to explore the riches that you cannot put a dollar value on at 10.